Speaking English with Other.
Welcome back to the English Leap podcast, powered by the Speak English with Anna channel. I am so thrilled you're tuning in today. This is your go-to space for real, natural conversation practice and making English a comfortable part of your daily life. I'm Anna, your host and English coach.
And I'm Mike. It's great to be here with you all. Today's episode is specifically designed for our intermediate learners around the B1 level. So if you feel like you can understand quite a bit, but still struggle to speak smoothly, you are in exactly the right place. Anna, how are you feeling today? You look like you've had a productive morning.
I certainly have, Mike. I've spent the last few hours in one-on-one sessions with some of my students. It's always so inspiring to hear their progress. But I have to admit, I'm very happy to finally sit down here, grab my tea, and just have a relaxed chat with you and our listeners. How about you? How was your day?
Honestly, I've had way too much screen time today. Between editing videos and answering emails, my eyes were starting to cross. So stepping into the studio to just talk naturally feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels like we're all just hanging out in the same living room, doesn't it?
It really does. And before we dive into today's very important topic, we want to ask our lovely community for a tiny favor.
That's right. Just one small movement for your finger, but a massive boost for our hearts. If you enjoy learning with us and find these conversations helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to help other English learners find us.
And don't be shy. We absolutely love reading your comments, even just one simple sentence. Tell us your name and where you're watching from. When you write a comment, you're basically sending your English brain to the gym. You have to pick the words, build the structure, and push yourself to communicate. It's the perfect exercise.
Exactly. No matter how short it is, every sentence counts. Now, let's get into it. Today, we are tackling something that sounds easy, but can actually be quite terrifying. Tell me about yourself.
Oh, the classic brain freeze moment. So many students tell me, Anna, I know how to say where I'm from, but as soon as someone says, tell me about yourself, my mind goes completely blank.
It's like all the English words you know suddenly decide to go on vacation at the same time. But don't worry, in this episode, we're going to give you a solid 7-part structure. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear script in your head that you can use in interviews, at parties, or when meeting new colleagues. We'll show you exactly how to build it, step by step.
Ready to get started, Mike?
Let's do it.
Perfect. Now, before we start building your script, we need to talk about Section 2, the context. Mike, have you ever noticed that a self-introduction isn't always the same? You wouldn't introduce yourself to a CEO the same way you would to a person you met at a beach party, right?
Definitely not. If I walked into a job interview and said, hey, what's up? I'm Mike and I love eating pizza on my sofa, I probably wouldn't get the job. Well, unless it was a job as a professional pizza taster, which sounds like a dream, actually.
That would be the best job ever. But you're right. Understanding the atmosphere is key. We usually categorize these situations into 3 types: informal, semi-formal, and very formal.
Let's break those down. Informal is the chill category. This is when you're grabbing a coffee with a new classmate, chatting with a neighbor, or maybe you've just joined a hobby group like a photography club or a gym. The vibe is relaxed, your body language is casual, and no one is expecting a perfect, polished speech.
Exactly. Then we have semi-formal. This one is very common. Think about a networking event, a meetup with other creators, or your first day at a new office meeting your team. You want to be friendly and approachable, but you also want to sound professional and capable. You're smiling, maybe making a few light jokes, but you're keeping it classy.
And finally, there's the formal situation. This is the big one, the job interview, a meeting with a high-level manager, or perhaps a formal presentation at a university. Here, the words you choose are much more careful. You want to show respect, and the structure of your introduction needs to be very clear and organized.
The mistake many learners make is trying to use a formal script in a casual setting. Imagine sitting on a sofa with a potential new friend and saying, "It is a great pleasure to introduce myself to you today. My name is Anna, and I specialize in linguistics." It sounds a bit like a robot, doesn't it?
It's a bit much. It creates a wall between you and the other person. On the flip side, being too casual in an interview can make you look like you aren't taking it seriously. So the first step is to read the room. Look at what people are wearing, listen to how they are talking to each other, and then choose your intensity level.
That's a great way to put it. Choose your intensity. Once you know the atmosphere, you can decide which greeting to use, which is actually our next section. But for now, just remember, your introduction is like a movie trailer for your life. You want to show the best parts that fit the audience watching.
I love that analogy, a movie trailer for your life. So listeners, as we move forward, think about a situation you are preparing for. Is it a friendly coffee date or a high-stakes interview? Keep that in mind as we build the words together.
Now that we understand the atmosphere, let's get into the actual words. Section 3 is all about the opening move, your greeting and your name. This is the very first impression you make, so you want it to be smooth.
Right. It sounds simple, but when you're nervous, even saying your own name can feel like a challenge. Let's start with the formal greetings. If you're in that job interview we mentioned, you should stick to the classics. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening.
And a great tip for formal settings is to add a small thank you immediately after. For example, "Good morning, thank you for seeing me today." It shows you are polite and professional right from the first second.
That's a pro tip, Anna. Now, what about semi-formal? Maybe you're at a business mixer or meeting a new colleague. I usually go with a "hi there" or even just a cheerful "morning." It's a bit shorter, a bit more energetic, but still respectful.
I agree. Hi there is one of my favorites because it sounds very natural. And for the truly informal stuff, like meeting a friend of a friend at a party, you can use "hey" or "hey, how's it going?"
Just a warning for our listeners. Be careful with slang like "yo" or "what's up," unless you're absolutely sure the other person uses it too. I remember trying to say "yo" to my boss once just to be cool, and the look he gave me, well, let's just say it was very awkward.
Oh no, Mike. That's exactly why we say choose what feels natural for you. If you don't say it in your own language, don't feel forced to say it in English. Stick to a friendly hello or hi. You can never go wrong with those.
Exactly. Now, once the greeting is out of the way, you need to state your name. There are two main ways. "I'm Mike" or "my name is Mike."
"I'm Anna" is generally more common in spoken English because it's quicker and sounds more relaxed. "My name is" feels a little more traditional and structured. If you are in a formal setting, you should definitely use your full name, first name and last name.
Good point. So in a casual setting, I'd say, "Hey, I'm Mike. Nice to meet you." But in a formal interview, I'd stand up, maybe offer a handshake if that's the culture, and say, "Good afternoon. My name is Mike Edwards. It's a pleasure to meet you."
Did you hear the difference there? In the formal version, Mike used "it's a pleasure to meet you" instead of "nice to meet you." It's a small change, but it elevates the whole introduction.
It really does. It's like putting on a suit for your words. So to recap this section, pick a greeting that matches the room, say your name clearly, and follow it up with a "nice to meet you."
Perfect. That's the foundation of your house. Now that people know who you are, they're going to want to know where you come from, which takes us to section 4. Now we're moving into the meat of the introduction. Section 4 is all about your life map, where you are from and what you do for a living. These are the two things people almost always ask about first.
Exactly. It helps people place you in the world. For the location part, you can start very simply. "I'm from blank." For example, "I'm from Brazil," or "I'm from Japan." But if you want to sound a bit more descriptive, you can add your city too.
Right, like "I'm from Krakow in Poland," or "I'm from Cairo in Egypt." It's a simple formula. I'm from city in country. Now, Mike, what if someone was born in one place but lives in another? That happens a lot these days.
That's my situation. I usually say, I'm originally from the UK, but I live in Madrid now. Or you can say, I was born in London, but I've been living in Spain for 3 years. It shows a little bit of your journey.
I love that phrase, originally from. It's very natural. Now, once you've told them where you live, the next logical question is, what do you do? And this is where many students get stuck on the grammar.
The most common way to say it is, I work as an job title. For example, I work as a nurse. I work as a driver, or I work as an engineer. Remember that little a or an. It's small, but important.
It really is. Now, if you don't want to focus on your specific title, you can talk about your field or the company. You could say, I work in sales, or I work in marketing, or I work for a tech company in the IT department.
I work for is great for mentioning the company name, while I work in is perfect for the industry. But Anna, what about our listeners who are still at university or between jobs?
Great question. If you're a student, just say, I'm a student. I'm studying business at university. If you're currently looking for a new opportunity, you can say, I'm between jobs at the moment, or I'm looking for new opportunities in the education field. It sounds much more positive.
That's a very professional way to put it. Let's try to put a location and a job together. I'll go first. I'm originally from a small town in England, but I live in Madrid now, and I work as an English teacher and content creator.
And for me, I'm from Poland. I live in Berlin, and I work as an English coach. See, it's like a mini story. You've given the other person a map of your location and a snapshot of your professional life.
And usually, once people know what you do for work, the conversation starts to get a bit more personal.
Now we're getting to the fun part. Section 5 is where you stop being just a job title and start being a person. This is about hobbies and personality. This is the social glue that helps people connect with you.
Exactly. In most conversations, people don't want to talk about work forever. They want to know what makes you you. A great way to start talking about hobbies is using the phrase, in my free time, I like, or when I'm not working, I enjoy.
I love those. For example, in my free time, I like reading historical novels. Or when I'm not working, I enjoy going for long walks with my dog. It's very relaxed. Mike, what's another way to say you really like something?
You can say, I'm a big fan of, or I'm really into. For example, I'm a big fan of football, or I'm really into photography. These phrases show passion. It's much more energetic than just saying, I like.
And don't be afraid to share a like and a dislike together. It adds a bit of humor and personality. I often say, I love coffee and sunny mornings, but I'm not a big fan of waking up early.
I think we share that one. Now let's talk about the personality side. Sometimes people ask, how would you describe yourself? Or what kind of person are you? This is common in both job interviews and making new friends.
You need some good adjectives here. Think of words like friendly, calm, hardworking, creative, or curious. If you want to sound humble, you can say, people say I'm, or my friends would describe me as.
That's a clever trick. My friends say I'm a very patient and easygoing person. It sounds less like you are bragging and more like you are sharing what others observe.
Or if you are a bit quiet, you can be honest about it. You can say, I'm a bit shy at first, but I become very talkative once I get to know someone. That is a very common thing for English learners to say, and it actually makes the other person feel more comfortable.
It really does. It explains why you might be a bit quiet while you're thinking of the right English words. So, to wrap up this section, pick 1 or 2 things you love doing and 1 or 2 words that describe your character.
For instance, I'm a very curious person, which is why I'm really into traveling and learning new languages. See how those 2 things connect? My personality, curious, explains my hobby, traveling.
Perfect. Now we have the past, where you're from, the present, your job and hobbies, but what about the future?
We've covered who you are and what you do, but people are also interested in where you're going. Section 6 is all about your future plans and goals. This part is especially important in job interviews or when talking to a teacher or a mentor.
Right. It shows that you have ambition and a direction in life. You don't need a 20-year plan. Just one or two honest goals will do. A great way to start is by using the phrase, "In the future, I'd like to," or "My goal is to."
Exactly. For instance, if you're a student, you might say, "In the future, I'd like to work for an international company." Or, since our listeners are English learners, you could say, "My goal is to speak English fluently so I can travel the world without any stress."
That's a very relatable goal. You can also use the phrase, "I'm working towards," if you are already in the process of doing something. "I'm working towards getting my master's degree," or "I'm working towards a promotion at my current job."
Another nice way to put it, especially in a more casual or dream-focused conversation, is "one of my dreams is to." It sounds very personal and inspiring. One of my dreams is to open my own small cafe one day.
I love that. It gives people a reason to cheer for you. When you share a goal, it often invites the other person to share theirs too. It keeps the conversation moving forward, literally.
It really does. So for this section, think about one professional goal, like a job or a skill, and maybe one personal goal, like a place you want to visit. For example, in the future, I'd like to improve my management skills, and I also hope to visit Japan next year.
Simple, clear, and very effective. Now, we've built all the pieces of the puzzle, the name, the job, the hobbies, the personality, and the future. But how does this sound when you put it all together into one smooth speech?
That is exactly what we're going to show them in our final section. Let's bring it all home.
All right, we've got all the ingredients. We have the greeting, the name, the location, the job, the hobbies, the personality, and the future plans. Now let's bake the cake. I'm going to put all these pieces together into one smooth introduction.
I love that metaphor. I'm ready to listen. Let's imagine we are at a semi-formal networking event. Give us your best introduction, Mike.
Okay, here goes. Hello, my name's Mike. I'm originally from the UK, but I currently live in Madrid. I work as an English teacher and content creator. In my free time, I'm a big fan of hiking and photography, and I describe myself as an adventurous and curious person. In the future, I'd like to create more online courses to help students around the world.
Wow, that was perfect. It flowed so naturally. You didn't sound like a robot. You sounded like, well, you. It gave me a complete picture of your life in just about 20 seconds.
Thanks, Anna. It actually feels much easier when you have the structure in your head. Now it's your turn. Let's pretend you are meeting a new group of friends at a dinner party. Keep it friendly and relaxed.
Got it. Here's my version. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna. I'm from Poland, but I've been living in Berlin for a few years now. I work as an English coach. I love cats and reading mystery novels, but I'm also really into cooking for my friends. I'm usually a calm person, but I get very talkative when I'm excited. My goal for this year is to travel to South America.
I love that, especially the part about being calm but talkative. It's very relatable. And listeners, did you notice we didn't use every single sentence option we discussed today? We just picked the ones that felt right for us.
Exactly. You don't need to say everything. Just pick the blocks that build the best bridge between you and the other person. And now we have a challenge for you.
Yes, we do. We don't want you to just listen. We want you to act. Step 1, choose one simple sentence for each part we talked about today. Step 2, write your full introduction in the comments below this video.
When you write it down, your brain processes the grammar and vocabulary much deeper than when you just listen. Plus, Mike and I love reading your stories. Maybe you'll even find a study partner in the comments who has similar hobbies.
That would be amazing. So give your English brain a workout and leave that comment. If this episode helped you feel more confident, please give us a like and subscribe to Speak English with Anna. It really helps the channel grow.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Remember, you didn't waste this time, you invested it in yourself. I'm Anna.
And I'm Mike. Keep practicing, stay curious, and talk about yourself with confidence.
See you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.